On the program today, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has reacted to claims by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria that his government inherited liabilities from his immediate predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari. He questions why Tinubu failed to give details of the liabilities in.
No day in a hurry. Relax your mind, be patient. I carry better ogbonge story come, better package. You see, Peter Obi, they challenge federal government. Based on federal government talk say inherit debt, liability from the past government. So Peter Obi, they tell us say, make him come out, come explain now. Make we Nigerians, make we understand how the thing become a liability for us. Say because in a democracy where we dey, say no be person government we in the wrong, no be private sector. Say because a democracy na the government of the people and for the people. Say now we be the people. So now a lot of people wey don come, they chook them out inside the matter. But I want make you dey patient before I go forget. No forget say you go subscribe. No forget say you go follow me. Don't forget say you go share this video so that everybody go understand wetin Peter Obi they ask federal government because if they challenge them, let's go there.
Details of the liabilities inherited from the previous government. For him, whatever the administration inherited should be made known to the general public, saying a responsible government needs to be transparent and accountable. Well, to shed more light on this particular matter, I'm joined on the show at this time by Ejike Chude, a public affairs analyst, and also Sheriff Adekoya, who is a social commentator. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you. It's actually Achike Chude.
Achike, thank you so much for that. Achike, well, I would like to start with you. Is the government, by law, obliged to actually reveal whatever assets or liabilities it incurred from the previous administration to the public?
Well, I don't know. It's a strange question when we try to understand what it means to run a government. The government.
The reason why I asked is this, right? I mean, most times when you have conversations like this, we've seen in the past where governments would revert back to the law, saying that they're not obliged by any item in the constitution on certain matters. So in order to sort of set the ball rolling, does the law compel the administration of the day to reveal to the public whatever assets or liabilities it's inherited from the previous government?
Yes, the law does that. The law, because the government does not belong to any particular person. The government belongs to all of us. And again, the question we should ask is, the monies that accrue to the country, does the government have any obligation to bring it out in the public space? We are talking about the revenues of the country. We are talking about also what the government intends to spend for the year. So it's a matter of law that when you're talking about the medium-term, economic framework, obviously the government has a duty. It's a matter of law. The budgeting and the process of budgeting is a matter of law. And so any deviation, for instance, from the budget itself in terms of implementation is something that should be punishable by law. But we know that the breach is what we witness most of the time. And so there is an obligation because you're talking about a democracy, government of the people, for the people, by the people. You're talking about the need for transparency and accountability. You're talking about the way government monies are being spent. That is why the ICPC was set up. That is why the EFCC was set up also. And so that government expenditure as agreed upon by the legislature based on the proposal to the legislature by the executive that every government expenditure must be subject to public scrutiny and the probe. Of course, you also know that we have a freedom of information law which makes it very clear that government should not be run as a secret court. That the dealings of government will have to be done in the public space, and so the government cannot make that kind of claim that they are under no obligation to tell us. After all, when monies are recovered, for instance, the Abacha loot, we are told how much was recovered, and then organizations like SERAP and others have gone ahead to say, no, it's not enough. We need to know how you're going to spend this money. And the simple reason is because the money belongs to the people. It does not belong to the president. It does not belong to the governors and the legislators. They are only holding office on our behalf. And so the need for transparency is absolutely essential if you want to run a democracy that incorporates, it must incorporate the body of the people in the way government business is being done.
All right, I would like to go to you, Sheriff. I mean, your reaction to this particular, will I call it, inquiry right now. I mean, we understand that the government is responsible to the people because that's a social contract, but are there limits to what the government can reveal to the general public?
Well, good evening and thank you for having me. Well, there are conversations that really do not need any level of contest. The government has the responsibility upon itself and the people it leads to explicitly tell and narrate what goes on within and around the government. However, there are responsibilities. Some may not be explicitly declared by the law. I know quite a number of lawyers and legal luminaries have said it time without number that you have administrative decisions sometimes where you have the freedom to decide, but at least to an extent, what may be not very smooth. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that the government holds the citizens the right to know, but at the same time, the oath of confidentiality is critical. We know there is the bill that talks about the information and the freedom of information bill has been passed, and that guides how we interact. Even at that, you really do not need to throw every piece of information to the streets. Some may trigger unhealthy reactions, but at the same time, anything that needs to be questioned, that should be known by the citizens, that is governed and protected by the law, must be made known. It is not a secret court. No government has the right to hide information about us away from us. It is democracy, the government by the people, for the people, and within the people. So yes, we just have to make it happen.
All right, let's get into a bit of specifics right now. Obi claimed, that's Peter Obi, he claimed that the ruling party took the country's debt profile, talking about the economy now, from 12.6 trillion naira in 2015 to about 87 trillion naira in 2023 when they left office. Of course, that's the previous administration, without improving much, particularly when it comes to indices of development, being education, health, poverty eradication, and security. Now, my question to you is this, and I'll start with you, Sheriff. I mean, does this particular allegation, to a large extent, carry weight? And if at all, to what extent?